Hey, what's going on guys? I'm back again with another video on how to integrate your HTML template into your Laravel application. Before we start our video, if you haven't subscribed my channel, please subscribe and hit the bell icon and select all so you can receive latest updates from us. So here is my HTML template and this is my Laravel application. So if we take a look at this theme, we can see that we have some assets and that contain some JS and CSS, and there are some images, and then we have some pages. If we display this page, we can see that this is the second page. Now we need to copy all of these assets that includes the images and CSS and JS files. Just copy them and go to your Laravel application, and then you go to public folder, and right there if you already have some JS or images files, I would recommend not to paste your files over there, because if someone is already working on this project, then there will be some problem if you replace the JS files. So I'm going to create a subfolder inside this public directory. I'm going to call it binary folder, and then open this, and inside that you can paste your files. Okay, so now we have all of these assets that includes the JS and CSS files, and also images are the part of your application assets. So I have also copied them here. Okay, so I have opened this application into my atom editor, so we can close all of these tabs, and I can show you the structure of this application. And if we view this, the resources folder contains our views, and this is the app folder that contains our controllers, and there is some routes folder that contains the routes to this application. So if we go to our HTML template, and let's view the index file, and we can see that this is our home page, and we want to replace our Laravel application home page with our new template. So I will just go to the source code of this HTML template page. Okay, I will copy all of these HTML text from here, and then I will go into my resources folder, and right there you can see that there is some views folder, and inside that I will create a new folder that is called binary. So in your case you can name it whatever you like. Maybe you can name it as admin, because, or you can name it as dashboard, because some of HTML template you might be using for admin side, and for the front end you might use a different template. So the naming is the best thing to differentiate between the templates. So for this I'm going to use only the binary. This is just the folder name. Okay, inside that I will create a file that will be named as home.blade.php, right? So this is the fixed extension for the Laravel views. So you just name your view and just add dot and then blade.php. If you don't add blade in the extension, then your Laravel application is not going to render this page. So I'm going to create with this. Just hit enter and just paste your content over here. Okay, now if we go to our home controller, so wherever your controller is, I'm also going to open my routes file, so I can show you that how this routing works. If we go to our Laravel application, we see that we have /home into our route, so we need to go to our routes file and see where it's pointing. So if we take a look at this, this is our route that is being used in the browser. So this is our controller, and this is our function that is home is pointing to, and this is the our route name. This is not really very important currently, but sometime it might be. But for now we need to go to the home controller and then we go to the index function. So if we go to app, then we need to go to the HTTP folder, and then there is folder called controllers, and inside that you will find home controllers. So in your case you might be using some different route, so you can trace your route from your routes file, and you can go to the right controller. So here I will go to this index function, and this function is going to return the view that is present in our resources files. So the view that we have created just now, that is inside, okay, this is the views folder, and there is some folder called binary, and inside that there is folder home. So we will add the path to this view that we just created. Now you can use slash as well, or you can, you see this the page is here, but we need to do some fixes, but don't worry about that. We can also use a dot, so that's also perfect. So now we need to check what is the issue in this page. If we go to the view page source, we can see that if you take a look at this page, we can see that there are no styles and there are no images. So our first priority is to set up these resources files. So if we go to the source of this page, we can see that these files are not accessible currently. So we need to make them accessible in this page. So let's go to our blade file that we just created, and you need to search for the style sheets and the JS files and the images. We need to search for style sheet because this is really important for us. So we can search, there is only one file, so we can just directly link to, okay, you need to add two curly braces right there and type asset, and inside that you can paste your path to file. Actually this asset function points to this public folder that is here. So asset function takes you here, and then from there you need to follow the path that we just did. Like we created a binary folder, and inside that there are some files that is related to that specific page. So I will add binary because inside the public folder we have created a folder named as binary, and inside that we have just file that is the same path because we already just copy pasted the file, we didn't change the directory. So we just created a binary folder, so we just added this, and now we need to look for JS files. We just go to the bottom or anywhere in the page. So for this JS files I will do the same thing. Okay, see, our JS and CSS files are done. Now if we view our theme, you can see that our theme layout is done now, but images are still not visible. So for that, we know that our images are also in the same directory where JS and CSS files are. So we are going to follow the same steps for that. We are just going to add this asset and the binary directly to the images. So we are going to search for the source. I mean this, if we look for image, maybe, yeah, this is the perfect way to find the image. Maybe if we find the image, we can see that there is some images. Okay, we have done for this, and we can look for another one. which is here. You just need to look at all of the images that are available in your page. Okay, I think that's it. We are done with the images files. So if we reload our page, I think we need to we missed one thing, that is we need to add the binary path as well, because we just missed that, because we created the binary folder inside our public folder, and then there is images folder. If we go to our public directory, and this is because assets points to this directory, and inside that there is folder binary, and inside there is folder images. That is our actual folder that we are pointing to right now. So I'm just going to do this for all of these images. Maybe so I'm doing just for 3, so you can just have a look at the theme. So now we can see that the images are here. I'm not done with this, so you don't need to worry about that. You can do in your theme, but you have to carefully look for these. Okay, so now if we want to add this page, okay, so if we copy and paste this page, if I go to the generic page and I edit this one, and we see that we are going to repeat this thing again and again. If we copy this content into our view, and then we are creating a new file and registering it out, and then again we are, for the next page we are going to do the same thing, and then there's one issue that we are going to repeat this thing again and again. If we want to change the title for one menu element in our theme, we have to edit each and every single page that we have created. So this is the bad practice that we were supposed to use, but we are not going to do that. So I will create a master page for that, so you can understand the concept of this structuring the HTML theme into your Laravel application. So we are going to, if we view this theme, we can see that to make our pages consistent, we are going to look at the theme, that what kind of things are similar in all of these pages. For example, if we see this is the top bar and the menu bar, this is the part of every page, and there is some footer that is also part of every page, and there are some JS files and CSS files. So if we go to the another page that is called elements, you can see that there is top bar, sidebar, side nav, and there is footer. So these three sections are the part of every page. So we are going to create some master page. So we know that these child pages are going to merge into our master page, and then we are using the master page for our content pages. This was our home page, and then inside that I will create a folder that is called master, and that master page, and I will create a new folder that is called includes. The includes folder will be used to store the child pages, that is top bar, side nav, and the footer etc. So if we go to this page, we can see that there is a header, right? This is the header. So we are going to actually cut this page, right? Cut, and inside the includes we are going to create a new file that is named as header_nav dot blade.php, and we will paste our code. Just saved it, close this page. Okay, and we need to provide the path to this page into our master page. I will shift this master page into our master folder later, but for now I'm just going to do over here all of these things. Then I will place this folder into master page once we create a content page for that. So I will use include. Okay, so include, and I am going to include that page into this one. So we know that our view is inside binary that we just created, with the header, and then header binary dot, there is folder called includes. If we expand this, we can see that there is folder, there is file that is called header underscore nav. Fine. So after including that, you can reload your Laravel application page and see if your template is working correctly. If it's working correctly, that means your implementation is perfect. So now the next turn is for our side nav, which is this. So we will cut this part, and we are going to create a new view inside our. So this is a child page, this is a child section, not page, this is a child section actually. So we can call it side underscore nav and dot blade dot php, and inside that we are going to paste our this side nav HTML. So inside the master page, that is home page currently, but we are making it to master. So we just copy and paste this, and we just change the nav, side nav. Okay, so just remember that you need to maintain this sequence. So the header was at the top, so you will keep this at the top. So if the side nav was at the just below the header, then you need to place it just below the header. So you just need to make the find the proper sectioning in the HTML template. So because this template has an easy separation, so in your case there might be some different ways, there might be some different divisions for that, but you have to find. For example, if now we need to look for our footer, because this is our third thing that we are going to integrate. Okay, this is our third thing, which is the footer. Okay, we will cut this footer from here, and inside this we will create new file, and that is footer dot blade dot php. Inside that we will place our code, and then right here we can include binary, and inside that there is folder includes, and there is footer. So if we go to the home page and refresh this page again, we can see that our side nav is working, our footer is still working. That means we are good to go. Okay, if you want to divide it further, then you can also cut these JS files, like I'm going to do. I'm going to paste them into our, so we are going to make some generic thing. So I will also separate these files, javascript dot blade dot php, scripts, maybe you can change it to scripts. So I will place it here, and in the home folder I will include them same as we did for JavaScripts. Fine. Okay, if we reload this page, we can see that things are still working, because the site name will be using JS, so this is still working, so our JS included perfectly. So now we are going to do the same thing for our style sheets. I'm going to cut, because there is only one style sheet, but in some complex HTML themes there might be more than one style sheet, so better you separate them into a file, that is style sheets.blade.php, right? And inside that you can place all of these style sheets, and these style sheets were included here, and then we can name them as include style sheets. That was the name, and we need to copy the directory as well, so we just paste it here, because we know that our style sheets inside this includes folder, so we are just going to use this way. Okay, now we reload, our things are working fine. This is hard refresh that I'm doing. So now we need to find the content of our page. So if we take a look at this second page, you can see that there is this section is after the footer. Okay, there is menu, there is footer, and in the middle there is different sections. For if we go to the index file, and there is some other sections, right? So because these things are being replaced, fine, so we will just cut them and we'll create a content page for that. Okay, now because this content is being replaced, so I will just cut all of this. And inside the binary folder, I will create a new folder. I will name it as pages. Fine. Inside that I will create a new view named as home, because this view is actually home, so I'm going to name it as home. Okay, I will paste my content here, and this views goes inside this pages folder, right? Okay, so now this was our master page, right? And we just copied our content from here, so I'm going to write type @yield, and inside that I will create a new section, right? So this is our master page, and now you can see that this is the very simplest page, and we are going to name it as master. Okay, so if we name it as master, and we are going to move this folder inside this master folder, we are going to use our home page. This is our content page, and this is called child page. So we are going to extend this page from our master page. Extends. We know that our master page is now inside this views folder, and there is called binary folder, and inside that there is folder called master. So we need to extend this child page from that master page. For that we are going to use binary dot master dot master, right? Because this master is the folder name and the last name is the file name. So this could be maybe we can name it as this might be confusing for you, master layout. So we are going to name it as master layout. Fine, I just renamed it to master layout so you don't get confused. So I will use master layout, the file name here. Okay, so now the master page has the content. So that is this content is coming from this page. So we are going to create a section for that. For example, we are going to create a section, and inside that we are going to mention the same name that we mentioned in our master file. So our master file contains the content, so we just copy this name and we paste inside this section, and we need to end this section as well. End section, and this is the ending of this section. Whatever you place inside this section will be automatically rendered over here, because this is the master page and this is combining all of these pages, because these are going to include, actually these are the must part of it, but the yield thing is something being changed on every request, maybe on every URL. So this content will be different on different pages, but these things will remain same because these are include. So we make them include, so we are not changing anything into that. So this is the general concept, and this is the content that is being changed on every URL. So if we go to the our home.play.php, that is our inside the pages folder, we just got all of this content and paste into this thing. Okay, so now if we cannot preview yet, we need to mention the exact path to this home plate, because now we are not pointing to the master page from our controller, we are going to point to our child pages actually. So because this child page is already extends from the master page. Okay, so this is going to use the master page, and the master page knows what to do. He knows that he need to include this thing, he need to include this thing, he need to include this thing and this thing, right, and the footer. So this home page is going to extend from this one. So this is the content of this page. So if we go to our controller, that is home controller, and there we need to mention the path to our home page, which is our child page. So if we take a look at this, if we take a look at the views, we are going to expand that, and inside the binary folder they are called pages. Inside there is home, so we just need to add pages here, right? If we reload this page, you can see that the theme is here. Perfect. Okay, now our theme layout is ready now, but still there are something that is a bonus for you, a bonus thing for you. Maybe you would love that, maybe you would not, but if you have some experience with Laravel, so this is something bonus for you. If we go to the master page, there is a style sheets. I include there is include statement for the style sheets, and if you are a developer and you are working on some theme, then you might need some internal page CSS or internal page JS. So for that I'm going to use yield over here as well, yield, and I'm going to name it as style sheet. Okay, and the same thing I'm going to use right after the JS files. Why I'm going to do this at this position, like right after the JS, right after the CSS? Because sometimes we need to override the CSS. For example, our style sheets are included here, but our internal page CSS will come over here, so it will override the previous thing. So the same as JS. So if we have something, some library that is being included in this JavaScript files, and then we can use in our page if we yield over here. So yield JavaScript, fine, and the same sections we will create in our view. So that is section, and we can name it as style sheet, okay, and then at the end style sheet, end section, sorry. And the same thing we can do for JavaScript at the bottom of this thing. Okay, that is JavaScript. So if I type alert here, you need to mention the script tag, because we didn't mention in the master page. So why I didn't mention? Because you can include some JS files over here as well. If we want to include some plugin, like if you are going to draw some graphs on this view, you don't need to include those JS files in the master JS files section, because those files will be included on all of your pages. So it will lower your website response time. So I'm gonna use some alert over here. So let's see if it works. Okay, you can see that alert is working. So in the same way, if you mention something at the top as an CSS, so if you go to the top and sorry, you can mention the style sheet, and you can assign some colors or something just here. Okay, so now our theme is done. If we want to create some next page, then what we need to do, if we go to this generic page and there is nothing, so for that we need to create another view that is inside this pages folder. We will name it as generic.blade.php, fine, and we will copy the content of our generic folder, generic file. So because this is the something we already have, this is also we have, so we just need to copy the main section or something that contains some content. So we just copy this thing and we paste it over here, and we need to replace this path with something that our Laravel application supports. So we are going to add binary, and then we are going to use this path. So this view is created now. Now we need to bind this view to our route. So for that, if we go to our let's collapse all of these things. If we go to our routes folder, there is folder called web.php. Inside that we will just copy this line and paste it again, and we are going to register a generic page or whatever. This URL will goes to browser. It is not must condition that this should match the view name. This is not must condition, you just can name it anything. We are going to use generic. So in the home controller we are going to mention generic. Okay, we are going to use it generic underscore page. Right here we can use the name as generic, so there's no it must be a unique name. It should not match any other. Okay, so now we need to create a function inside this home controller. So that should named as generic page. So if we go to our controller that is inside app http controllers and home controller, and here we need to create a function, public function, which is this generic page, and we can return the view generic. Okay, if we reload, if we type in generic in the it says there is no path. Sorry, we didn't save this file, so we just saved now. We can see that this page is visible, but there is no content because we forgot to extend from master page and add some sections to that. So if we go to our generic blade, we just need to mention these things. We are going to remove this, so we are going to just copy these sections, and and in the bottom we are going to copy all of these things from here, because these things will remain same for every page. So next time when you are going to create a page, you just open this some pre-existing page and click to save as, and then you don't need to copy, you just need to replace the content. So now we reload, we can see that our theme is working. So now we want to link this home link and generic link working, because this is currently not working. So we are going to now we are going to our resources file, that is it is inside the binary folder, and there is folder includes, and there is side nav. So we go to side nav, and there is, we can mention the URL, and inside the URL you need to mention URL from this thing. If we are going to mention the route, then you are going to use the name. If you are going to use the URL function, then you are going to use this thing, this page. Okay, I'm going to use the URL function, so just copy and paste it here. Okay, I can copy this generic path as well. Okay, so if I go back to my home page, okay, there is home. Okay, just go to home, and you can see that our page is here, and if we go to generic, this link is working, and if we go back to our home page, this link is working. Now we want to make this, if we click this, we should go back to home, we shouldn't be redirected here. So we will go to our header nav, and inside this we will pass the route to our home URL function, and inside that you mention the URL. Go back, reload this page, and click it again. It's going to reload the home URL again. So now I want to explain you the difference between the route and the URL. If we go to your web.php, and there is let's name it something different, like home underscore page. Okay, so if you want to use a route function, then you need to use name. For example, I'm going to use name into header nav, and there is I'm going to use route, and I will place this name of the route. So if I reload this page, and this is going to work. Okay, this is doing the same thing that is route doing, but if we change this to home only, this will not work because the name doesn't exist. So we are going to use home underscore page, that we did the URL name over here, that is home underscore page. So that is the difference between the URL and the home page. That's it for now. If you face any issue or you have any query, you can comment below, and please subscribe my channel and hit the like button for this video. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye bye.